Good morning, fellow mathematicians. Welcome back to our video. Today we're going to discuss another topic in the mathematics in the modern world. And let's discuss what is mathematics in the philosophical perspective. What is mathematics? Mathematics. Now let's dive into the philosophical perspective. Philosophical perspective. Previously in this series, we have defined what is mathematics in the historical perspective. Now let's dive into another perspective kasi as humans, we should take a lot of perspectives in our definitions. Ganun kasi nature natin eh. Ayun, the philosophical perspective. The early 20th century Europe mathematics centered on the following questions. May tatlong questions daw yung ano. What is mathematics? Obviously, this is the series. Number 2, where does mathematics come from? Number 3, how should mathematics be developed? Okay? Now, during those times, in the 20th century, in the European mathematics, meron na buong tinatawag na schools of thought. Now, according to Google, itong picture na ito, according to Google, the school of thought is a particular way of thinking, typically one disputed by the speaker. Ibig sabihin, this is a perspective din. Kumbaga, yun yung point of view ng tao. Okay? Tapos, sinabi daw, during the early 20th century Europe, meron daw tatlong school of thought na nag-i-encompass sa mathematics. This is Intuitionism, Logicism, and Formalism. Now, let's dive into each of those schools of thoughts individually. First, Intuitionism. Ayun. Ayun, ito muna tayo. Intuitionism is the first one. Intuitionism is a philosophical thought that is founded by Immanuel Kant. Ibig sabihin, ang pangalan niya is Immanuel Kant, but he can found a philosophical thought, di ba? Parang he can. It's a joke, okay? Ngayon, that's Intuitionism. This is Immanuel Kant. He is a German philosopher. Now, Intuitionism, Immanuel Kant believes that mathematics was not inherent in the physical world, but came from the human mind. As the idea, Intuitionism, it is intuition. It is all in our minds. Yun yung paniniwala ni Immanuel Kant. The mind possesses the forms of space and time called modes of perception or aka intuition. Doon ang galing yung intuitionism na, di ba? Nakikita nyo? Thus, the usual geometry that we know are not inherent to the universe, but instead were human mechanisms used to describe and rationalize sensations. Yun yung sinasabi ng yun yung mga paniniwala ni Immanuel Kant when he founded this philosophical thought. Now, in Kant's Metaphysical Foundations of the Natural Science, it is a book. This book is, the cover page is found here, published in 1786. He pointed out that we all know who Sir Isaac Newton is. Newton's laws of motion were self-evident and could be derived by pure reason. Yun yung sinasabi ni Kant. Kant generalized that the world of science was a world of sense impressions arranged and controlled by the mind. And that's the idea of intuitionism. Parang sa utak lang lahat ng mga nanggagaling ang mga mathematics all around us. And he summarized those thoughts in this book that is found over here. Okay? Immanuel Kant is a German philosopher, by the way. Let's carry on. However, in the early 20th century, a Dutch mathematician in the name Lucian Egbertus John Brauer led the intuition school. Kumbaga siya talaga yung pinaka naging prominent dito puwera kay Immanuel Kant. Ito si Brauer. He is a Dutch mathematician. By the way, if you're a Dutch, where are you from? Correct, from the Netherlands. That's a trivia for you all. Now, intuitionism, the school became more profound to say that every mathematical construction, for example, the real numbers, proofs, theorems, etc. are mental constructions. It is all from the mind. By the way, a theorem is a statement. A theorem is a statement that needs to be proven in order to be accepted as true. Yun yung theorem na sinasabi dito. And ano tawag dun sa patunay? Yung 'di ba may patunay ka sa theorem na these are proofs. By the way, real numbers, alam naman natin ito yung symbol ng real numbers, 'di ba? Yan yung set na nag-encompass na lahat ng real numbers. This is the set of all real numbers. Baka kasi tinatanong nyo, ano yung mga terminologies na binabanggit natin dito? Yun lang yung mga yun. Proofs is yun yung ginagamit para ma-prove yung theorem. Okay? And sabi lang naman niya, are the mental constructions of the mind. Yun nga, kaya intuitionism eh. 'Di ba? By the way, ito palang itong mahabang pangalan ni Brauer can be parang to be shortened L.E.J. Brauer. 'Di ba? And guess why bakit L.E.J., 'di ba? Napaka-obvious. Isa pa, intuitionism rejects the idea of non-constructive existence proofs. Ano yung mga non-constructive existence proof? Ngayon, base sa Wikipedia, ito yung definition, ay constructive proof. Kasi sabi dito, non-constructive. So alamin natin, ano yung constructive, di ba? In mathematics, a constructive proof is a method of proof that demonstrates the existence of a mathematical object by creating or providing a method for creating the object. Yun yung ginagamit yung constructive proof. Nagko-construct ka ng something to prove an existence. This is in contrast to a non-constructive proof which proves the existence of a particular kind of object without providing an example. Ibig sabihin, tinatanggap mo na without an example, you accept the existence. And intuitionism rejects that. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi nito. And intuitionism essentially makes use of the law of excluded middle and the law of involution. Ano yung mga law na yan? What do I say? What are we saying? Law of excluded middle. For example, a statement that the law of excluded middle can say is that sa formal logic, ganito siya isulat. P or not P is a tautology. Ito yung formal, formal, ibig sabihin ng law of excluded middle or lem. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang yan, yung ito palang symbol na to is an or. I-discuss natin to as we go along in this subject sa logic part ng MMW. But for now, kapag nakita kayo ng V na gano'n, na symbol, or a wedge, ang ibig sabihin ng or. Ibig sabihin, pumipili ka ng dalawang counterintuitive statements and kung ano man doon yung mangyari, totoo na. For example, you wake up at 7 a.m. It is P. You wake up at 7 p.m. It is a statement P. Yun yung example na yun. Yung not P is that yung kabaliktaran ng di mo paggising ng 7 a.m. Di, you don't wake up at 7 p.m. So, sulat natin dun. P, you wake up at 7 a.m. Yung not P is you don't wake up at 7 a.m. Yun yung pinaka-statement natin, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kung ano man yung mangyari dyan, ibig sabihin, isa doon totoo. Yun ang gusto sabihin ng law of excluded middle. And yung law of involution, ang sinasabi lang nun is that yung not P, yun parang implies P. Yung kabaliktaran ng negation ay yung mismong statement. Yun na yung law of involution. Diba? Yun lang yun. So, yung mga yan, it will be further discussed in the logic part of MMW. But for now, at least, diba, may idea na kayo formally. Ito pa ng symbol na to is a yung parang negation, parang kabaliktaran, and it will be further discussed nga as we go along this course. Now, yun na yung sinasabi ng intuitionism, no? It's all part of our brains, di ba? It rejects, may di ba, rejection, may nire-rejection non-constructive proofs and ginagamitan ng law of excluded middle and the law of involutions. Yun alam natin. So, that's intuitionism for you guys. Now, let's go to another school of thought, which is logism. Okay. Di ba natapos na tayo sa intuitionism? Di ba yun yung pangalawang school of thought? Logism, English mathematician and philosopher Bernard Russell and Alfred North Whitehead co-founded the logistic school of thought. Sabihin, dalawang tao yung co-founders nito. Si Bernard Russell and Alfred Whitehead. Okay, iyan sila. Ngayon, nagtataka kayo, bakit yung mga pictures nila is parang modern na? Kasi nga, di ba, this is in the early 20th century. Ibig sabihin, may mga ways na to have those kinds of pictures. Unlike this one, na painting pa. Kasi di ba, hindi nga pinanganak tong, ito mamaya babanggitin natin kung sino yan. Okay? Ngayon, co-founders daw ng logism is si Bernard Russell and si Alfred Whitehead. Okay. The logistic philosophy states that everything in mathematics is derivable from the principles of logic. Kaya nga, di ba, logism, logic, tama? Unlike the intuitionist, logicians, tandaan nyo kapag yung pinaniniwalaan mo yung kanina, intuitionism, ang tawag sa'yo, intuitionist. Kapag logism, ang pinaniniwalaan mo, you are logician. Okay? Viewed that mathematics is an activity to be developed. Yan ang paniniwala nila. Unlike dun sa kanina, sa intuitionism, ang pinakapaniniwala nila is mathematics is a constant development. Palagi may development. Okay? And according to Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, itong pangalan na ito, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, and by the way, a trivia for all of you guys, sa mga nag-aral ng calculus, he is one of the fathers of calculus, actually differential calculus, alongside with Sir Isaac Newton. And he said that mathematics is logic in disguise. Diba? Napaka-strong ng statement, in disguise. Mathematics is basically logic. Ganun. Okay, and let's proceed to another slide. Okay, ayun. Logism pa rin tayo Also, Gottlob Frege, ganun. Gottlob Frege uncovered the principles of logic. Diba? Isa sa mga, si Frege, nata pronunciation of Frege. Isa sa mga nag-uncover ng principles of logic. However, Russell, yung nabanggit kanina, si Bernard Russell, found a contradiction within the system. Nakita siya ng contradiction. Ano yung contradiction? Halimbawa, sinabi mo, you will wake up at 7 a.m. A contradiction is that you wake up at 8 a.m. Hindi ka nagising ng 7 a.m. That's a very good contradiction, di ba? Yun yung for everyday life lang natin. Okay? Logism. Bernard Russell devised a type structure of properties which determines a layered universe of mathematical objects. Because of that fact that he found a contradiction, siya na yung nagkusa. Siya na ang naggawa ng isang mathematical structure. Ngayon, however, these are not enough to cover the laws of arithmetic. Of course, diba, there are hindrances that nangyayari yan eh. Hindi naman lahat may encompass, masasakop eh. But he tried. Yun yung maganda doon. Moreover, the actions of logism are written in a book entitled Principia Mathematica, or PM, by Bernard Russell and Alfred North Whitehead. Di ba nga sila yung co-founders ng logism, so therefore, they are entitled to write a book about it. And this is the cover page of it. By the way, yan ba yung prinsipya ni Sir Isaac Newton? Kasi di ba may prinsipya din siya? No, they are totally different. In fact, principia is a Latin word for first principle. So yun yung pinaka-first principle about mathematics, mathematical logic. Diba? And they are very much credible for it. Okay? Now, logism, nonetheless, logicians, diba? Sila yung nag-aaral ng logism, hold that logic itself can furnish definitions of primitive concepts where first principles can be derived. Sabihin, you can derive things. Logism has two versions, the strong and the weak, di ba? The strong logism maintains that all mathematical truths in a particular branch of mathematics is a species of logical truth. Di ba? Ganun ang strong logism. Di ba? Meron niyang mga may basis, kumbaga malawak ang niya, sakop. While weak logism isolates truth only within a scope of a theorem. Naka-base lang siya sa isang maliit na space ng theorem. Kung ano man yun. I will not emphasize it even more because it will take a lot of time. Basta ang strong logism, sinasabi ng wide variety, while a weak logism is only isolating itself to is one specific thought. Yun ang gusto ko sabihin. Now, next one is, now, let's have, okay. Zoom natin ng konti. Formalism. This is the third school of thought, okay? Formalism is founded by the German mathematician, he's a German. Kung German siya, taga saan siya? Germany. Ang galing. Yon, a German mathematician named David Hilbert. And in fact, he is a physicist also. Sa kanya din pinangalan yung Hilbert space. If you guys will study physics, higher class of physics. And formalism holds that mathematics should be developed through axiomatic systems. Kailangan may axiom. Di ba alam ko yung word na axiom, hindi na yung medyo bago sa inyo because from your junior high school, grade 9 in particular, you have axioms and yung mga postulates and axioms ng geometry ninyo. Diba? An axiom is a statement that doesn't necessarily require a proof to be accepted as true, like a postulate, correct? Now, kailangan daw magkaroon ng axiomatic system sa mathematics. Now, he asserts that the development of mathematical logic, the whole numbers are inherently involved. Palaging kasama yung mga whole numbers. Ano yung mga whole numbers na yan? Di ba yun yung 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Involved lahat yung numbers na yan. And, well, of course, they are involved. Yun yung numbers na alam natin eh. Thus, to build the number system on logic, it should employ a circular reasoning. Diba? May circular reasoning yan. Okay? Another one, contrary, yung formalism, contrary to intuitionist, palagi silang galit sa intuitionist, no? Numbers can be taken to be symbols and physical objects that can play the role of numbers. Diba? Contrary to logicians naman, mathematics cannot be deduced from logic alone. Kasi hindi lang naman lahat nagbe-base sa logic. Diba? Yun yung paniniwala ng formalism. There must be self-evident statements called postulates or theorems so to have a systematic development of mathematics. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang dapat nanggagaling sa mga implications ng logic, yung mga dahilan ng logic. Pero kailangan magkaroon ng sariling postulates and theorem in mathematics to hold. Tama? Yun yung gusto sabihin. Ngayon, anong susunod natin? Formalism. Formal systems of higher mathematics have minimum requirements that they are at least consistent. Kailangan may consistency. Lahat ng bagay kailangan ng consistency. That is, they are free from contradicting principles. Yun yung kagandahan sa formalism. Not only that it is based on logic, but it is established, meron siyang sariling fact na nagsasabi na totoo siya and there is no contradiction found on it. Now, Hilbert sees the trick of proving statements on higher mathematics theorems. Nakakita siya ng trick. Higher mathematics consists of statements that can be considered as uninterpreted strings of symbols. Parang ganun lang yun. Uninterpreted strings of symbols. It is nothing but a game. Ang pag-aaral ng math is a game that requires the manipulation of those symbols with reference to fixed rules. Ganun lang yun. Ganun lang basically ang mathematics. Alam natin na mahirap siya because we don't know all the rules. But if we know the rules, we know how to manipulate them, then mathematics will be not easy, but easier. Diba? Magiging mas madali mo siyang maintindihan. But mathematics is not easy because there exists a statement or concept in math that, kung nadadalian ka ngayon, edi may mas mahirap pa. Diba? Yun yung sinasabi ko. Now, lastly, it has been noted that modern mathematics education stands on formalism. Thus, the way mathematics is being taught in the modern academe is faithfully following formalism. Di ba nakikita nyo naman, di ba? Hindi naman lahat ng inaaral natin sa math is based from implications ng logic eh. It is used gamit ang logic, but di ba, halimbawa, yung sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. Di ba naalala nyo ito sa grade 10 trigonometry? Yan yung Pythagorean identity sa trigo. Di ba? Wala, yung logic naman, wala eh. Wala namang statements dyan eh. Kumbaga yung statement dyan is the sine and cosine function and the number 1. Di ba? It is a theorem. Di ba? Theorem ito. Sa ano? Kasi pinoprove to eh. Theorem ito. Tapos di ba kapag nag-divide both sides ka ng sine dyan, magiging 1 plus cosine squared theta over sine squared theta is equal to 1 over sine squared theta. Ano yan? 1 plus, ano yan? Cotangent squared theta is equal to cosecant squared theta. Diba? Pag nilipat mo sa kabila, isa pang identity yun. Tama? Ganun lang. Yun yung mga modern mathematics education. Hindi naman requirement talaga yung super high mathematics. Sabihin, kahit yung mga nakasanayan natin sa high school math. Diba? Ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga yon ay ginagamitan ng formalism. Now, as a culmination of what we have did this wonderful day, we have discussed what is mathematics in a philosophical perspective using the 3 schools of thoughts. Diba? Itong tatlong to, diniscuss natin for this wonderful morning. Now, I hope you learned something today. I hope that you have gained a lot of information about mathematics, and see you real soon, mathematicians. Goodbye now and have a great day. Good night.